You have received a clear direction, and you are about to ignore it. It may have come in a dream that repeated itself for 3 nights in a row. It may have been a phrase that popped out of nowhere while you were driving to work. It may have been that coincidence so precise it gave you goosebumps. You know exactly what I am talking about. That guidance that came with a clarity that did not match confusion. That message that cut through the noise in your head and arrived whole, without shadow, without ambiguity. For a few days it was obvious. You felt it, you knew it, you even mentioned it to someone you trust that it had been different. But now? Now you have started to doubt. You have started to rationalize. You have started to try to fit that direction into your old plan, your human project, that which you had already calculated. And a quiet little voice has started to whisper, was it really? Could it have just been an impression? Could it have been a desire of mine disguised as a sign? Stop everything, breathe. Because the exact moment you are in right now is the most dangerous moment of your spiritual journey. It is now that it is decided whether you will obey an instruction that came clean, or if you will spend the next 3 years paying interest for having ignored a warning that arrived for free. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm going straight to the point. In the next few minutes, you will understand 3 things that no one had the courage to tell you. First, why this feeling of carrying a weight started precisely after you received the guidance. It was not a coincidence. There is a mechanism. There is an explanation. Second, why your mind is trying so hard to convince you that it was just imagination. There is a scientific name for what is happening inside your brain at this very instant, and when you discover it, you will understand why so many Brasileiros lose the chance of a lifetime just when it appears. Third, what to do today, still today, to reverse the misalignment before the window closes, and the price charged is much higher than what is being asked now. If you feel deep in your chest that this message found you for a reason, do one thing before continuing. Subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell.
Attention, you need to prepare now. I put together an exclusive resource for those who feel set apart for something greater, but live surrounded by noise, distractions, and mental overload. This is a 30-day journey that will transform your life, a guided path to armor your mind and prepare for what's coming, with daily practices of focus, boundaries, and discipline. Stop negotiating with the noise. Learn to spot distractions before they control you and strengthen your mind. Also available in an immersive audio version. Over 10,000 readers have already transformed their lives through the 30-day journey. Thousands of people have already started this transformation. People like you, who were tired of living in the fog, ordinary people who decided to stop accepting mental chaos. Take advantage of this limited time offer only this month. Access your link just below in the pinned comment.
Because what is coming in the next videos is part of a sequence, and you cannot miss the next episode. Content of this spiritual caliber does not reach you by algorithm. It reaches you by invitation. Let's start with the symptoms, because you need to recognize where this is already manifesting in your concrete life, in your day-to-day, in your relationships, in your work. Symptom number 1, that feeling of swimming against an invisible current. You wake up in the morning and feel that something is out of place, but you cannot name it. The meetings that used to go well now stall. The conversations that flowed now end in noise. The decisions that seemed obvious now require 3 rounds of thinking. It is not common fatigue. It is something else. Symptom number 2, opportunities that appeared aligned with that direction have started to dissipate. That call that would come didn't come. That door that seemed ajar closed. That invitation that was being formed went to someone else, and you rationalize by saying, it wasn't for me anyway, but deep down you know it was for you. But you needed to have taken the step of the guidance and you didn't. Symptom number 3, and restlessness in the chest that gives no respite. It is not clinical anxiety, although it may seem so. It is deeper. It is as if one part of you were marching in one direction and the other part were pulling the brake. Researchers from Fiocruz and the Faculdade de Medicina da USP have already documented this phenomenon as a form of somatized existential dissonance, when the body carries the weight of an internal decision not yet made. The sympathetic nervous system stays in a state of chronic alert, digestion is altered, sleep becomes fragmented. It is not a disease in itself, it is feedback. Symptom number 4. You catch yourself repeating several times a day phrases like, I have to manage, I have to endure, I have to hold it together. Note the verb. It is not, I will lead. It is not, I am walking. It is, I have to endure. This is the language of misalignment. When you are in the correct flow, you do not need to endure life. Life flows through you. When you are out of the flow, each day feels like an extra work shift. Symptom number 5. The silence has started to bother you. Before you used moments of silence to rest, to reconnect. Now you run from the silence. You turn on the television, open the messaging app, put on a podcast, anything so as not to hear what your intuition wants to say. Because your intuition has already told you what it had to say, and you know that if you stop, it will repeat it. If you recognized yourself in at least 3 of these symptoms, stay with me. Because now we are going to the most important part, the cause. And this is where almost everyone gets the interpretation wrong. The cause is not punishment. The cause is not God turning his back on you. The cause is not spiritual retribution. The cause is mechanism. It is a system. It is feedback designed to realign you. I will explain this using a word from ancient Hebrew that will change the way you understand spiritual obedience. The word is Shema, written Esheshem, which appears hundreds of times in the Hebrew scriptures. Almost all translations into Portuguese and English render this word as hear, but Shema does not mean just capturing a sound with your ears. Shema means to hear with the intention to obey. It is a verb that carries response within itself. When the biblical text says Shema Israel, it is not saying pay attention, people of Israel. It is saying hear and act, people of Israel. Hearing without action, in the Hebrew understanding, is not hearing. It is spiritual deafness disguised as attention. When you received that direction, heaven was not giving you a suggestion. It was calling you to a Shema, and your Shema means receiving the message and moving your body. Without moving the body, the message was not received, it was only heard. This is the first layer of the cause, but there is a second, even deeper one. Studies from Stanford University on intuitive decision-making have shown that the human brain processes non-verbal signals of discernment much faster than conscious analytical signals. In other words, your intuition perceives the correct direction long before your rational mind can formulate a logical justification for it. The problem is that most adults have been culturally trained, especially in Brazil, where the influence of French positivism deeply marked academic formation, to distrust everything that does not pass through the filter of explanatory reasoning. So you receive the guidance, you feel the certainty, but then your rational mind, the part that was educated to keep its feet on the ground, begins to dismantle the perception. Researchers linked to the Faculdade de Medicina da USP describe this process as a defensive analytical reduction. It is a cognitive defense against the unknown. And here is the critical point. This cognitive defense is not neutral. It has a cost. The American Psychological Association has published studies demonstrating that people who systematically rationalize their intuitive impulses show, over the years, a measurable reduction in the quality of decisions in key areas of life. Relationships, professional choices, long-term financial decisions, health investments. It is not a metaphor. It is data. In other words, every time you rationalize a clear direction, you are weakening your own ability to receive and recognize the next one. Now, intertwined with this scientific explanation, there is a spiritual layer that needs to be said clearly. Think of Jonah, that Hebrew prophet who received a direction as clear as the one you received. The instruction was specific. Arise, go to Nineveh, announce my message. It was not ambiguous. It was not poetic. It was an address, a task, a purpose. But Jonah, like you, rationalized. He thought, this people does not deserve the message. This mission is not for me. I will follow a more sensible path. And he embarked for Tarshish, which was exactly the opposite direction. What happened? It was not punishment, it was feedback. The storm that rose over the sea was not the vengeance of heaven. It was an entire system entering into collusion to return Jonah to his path. Each wave was a reminder. Each lightning bolt was a route marker. When the sailors threw Jonah into the sea and the great fish swallowed him, that was not punishment. It was transport. The fish took Jonah exactly to the region from where he would have to depart for Nineveh. The original direction was fulfilled, only with a 3-day delay and a trip in extremely uncomfortable conditions. The question that needs to echo inside you now is, do you want to fulfill the direction by the easy path or by the path of the fish? Because the direction will be fulfilled anyway. You are only choosing the route. Before I continue and give you the practical solution, let me ask you one thing quickly. If up to here this video is making sense to you, if this message is touching you in some real place, leave a like. This simple gesture helps this content reach other brasileiros who are at exactly the same point as you, receiving direction and almost ignoring it. You can be the link in the chain that makes someone wake up today. Let's go to the second biblical figure, Naaman, the Syrian commander who had leprosy and went to the prophet Elisha seeking healing. The direction he received was simple, almost offensively simple for a man of his position. Go to the Jordan River and dip 7 times. Naaman was furious. How so? I came from so far with so many troops, with so much gold, and the instruction is to dip in a dirty river. Are there not cleaner rivers in my land? He rationalized the direction. He tried to replace it with something that made more sense for his dignity. It was his servants who had the wisdom to say, "Master, if he had asked for something great, you would have done it. Why not do what he asked, being simple?" Naaman obeyed. He dipped 7 times. He came out healed. The lesson here is vital. Often the direction you received seems too small for the size of your problem. You expected something epic, something worthy of who you are, something proportional to your suffering. But the guidance came simple. Make that call. Look for that person. Stop doing that. Start that study, and you think, this won't solve it, it's too simple. Then you rationalize and ignore it. Naaman almost lost his healing because of this. There is a Hebrew root that speaks directly to Naaman's obedience. It is the root Shammah, written Shmamra, which means to guard, to watch, to preserve. Shammah is different from Shema. Shema is to hear and do in the moment. Shammah is to guard the instruction continuously, to maintain alignment throughout the following days. You need both. Shema in the first instant, Shammah in the days that follow. Without Shammah, even those who did Shema lose the way back. The third figure is Moses, and here the story becomes even more revealing for what you are living. Moses received one of the clearest and most dramatic directions recorded. Heaven caught fire inside a bush and spoke directly to him. There is no ambiguity possible. The direction was specific. Go to Pharaoh and take my people out of Egypt. But Moses started to rationalize immediately. Who am I to go to Pharaoh? I don't know how to speak well. They won't believe me. Send someone else. Even in the face of a burning bush that was not consumed, Moses tried to negotiate the direction. You can read this and think, how so he received such an evident manifestation and still doubted? But that is exactly what you are doing now. You received your bush. It may not have been a burning bush, but it was a bush in your own way. A recurring dream, an undeniable intuition, a sequence of signs. And you are saying, who am I? Did I understand correctly? Wouldn't another person be better? Here enters a Greek word from the New Testament that needs to be in your spiritual vocabulary. It is the word hupaku, written upakuo. Translators usually put it as obey, but the literal meaning is to hear from below, or to position oneself under the instruction. The image this word carries is of someone who places themselves under an authority to receive and execute. It is not humiliating submission. It is strategic positioning. You need to be under the direction for it to work through you. When Moses finally did hupaku, finally positioned himself under that guidance, everything that seemed impossible started to move. The plagues, the crossing of the sea, the manna in the desert. None of this was Moses' merit. It was the result of a man who stopped rationalizing and placed himself under the received direction. Now let me bring this to your real, concrete, palpable Brasileiro daily life. It may be that your direction is to leave that relationship that has been eating away at you for years. And you rationalize by saying, but they aren't that bad, but we have children. But what about my parents? What will they say? Research conducted by centers at PUC SP, in conjunction with UFRGS, showed that people who postpone relational decisions that have already been internally perceived as necessary present significantly higher rates of symptoms of depression and anxiety in the subsequent period. Postponing does not stabilize. Postponing amplifies. It may be that the direction is to leave that job that is exhausting you, even without having another one guaranteed. And you rationalize by saying, I need stability. I can't take this risk now. I will wait a little longer. Research from FGV on professional transitions demonstrated that Brasileiro professionals over 35 who make career transitions motivated by an internal calling, even facing initial financial turbulence, achieve superior stability in the medium term compared to those who remain in misaligned positions out of fear. Fear is a poor long-term counselor. It may be that the direction is to reconcile with someone you swore never to look for again, and you rationalize by saying, they should look for me first. After everything that happened, I can't. It doesn't make sense anymore. Studies from the HeartMath Institute, with replications in Brasileiro laboratories, showed that grudges held for decades alter heart rate in a measurable way and correspond to an increase in systemic inflammatory markers. The grudge does not hurt the other person. It hurts your body. The reconciliation that is being asked for is not just for the other. It is for you. It may be that the direction is to stop postponing that project that has lived in your mind for 5 years, 10 years. That book, that course, that business, that ministry. You rationalize by saying, it's not the time yet, I still need to prepare more. Something is still missing. Endeavor Brazil, in research with Brasileiro entrepreneurs, identified that the chronic postponement of initiatives is one of the main factors in the frustration of people over 40. It is not a lack of capacity. It is an excess of preparation as a mechanism of escape. You received the direction. You know what it is, even if you are trying to confuse it now, you know. Before we get to the solution, I need to remind you of one thing. If this video is helping you, leave a comment with the word alinhamento in capital letters. This is not just a request for engagement. It is an act of declaration. When you write alinhamento, you are making a public confession to yourself. You are saying, I recognize the misalignment and I opt for realignment. There is power in a declared word. The neuroscience of public commitment, studied in laboratories at Yale University, demonstrated that writing an intention in a social environment significantly increases the chances of actual execution. Comment alinhamento and take this video to the end. Now the solution. And here I will be direct because you no longer have time for theory. First step, stop asking for confirmation. You are asking for the same sign again and again and again as if it hadn't been given already. When you ask for repeated confirmation about something that has already been confirmed, you are not being prudent, you are being fearful. And fear, when it disguises itself as spiritual prudence, becomes the worst form of paralysis. That first direction was clear. You know it was. Stop asking for a replay when the signal has already been transmitted. Second step, take a concrete step, small but concrete, in the direction of the received guidance within the next 24 hours. It does not need to be the final step. It does not need to be the definitive step. It needs to be just the first step, but it needs to be real, observable, recordable. If the direction was to leave a relationship, the first step can be a conversation with a therapist, a search for legal guidance, a written note of what you feel. If the direction was to start a project, the first step can be registering a name, opening a document, making a call to a potential partner. If the direction was to reconcile, the first step can be writing a message, even if you don't send it yet. The important thing is that something in the physical world changes. Studies on habit formation, conducted jointly by MIT and Unicamp, confirmed that concrete actions within 24 hours after an internal decision significantly increase the probability of long-term fulfillment. Third step, record in writing what you received. Take a notebook, open the Notes app, do whatever, but write it down. In the first person, with the date, describing the guidance as you received it, without softening it, without filtering it through your reason. This record will be your anchor on the days when doubt comes again, and doubt will come. It is not your failure, it is a natural cycle. When it comes, you open the notebook and reread it. The text will remind you of what your reason tried to forget. Fourth step, find a witness. A single person of real spiritual discernment, someone you trust spiritually, and share the guidance, not to ask for validation, to create a witness. Ancient Hebrew scripture establishes that every word is confirmed in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. When you verbalize it to someone you trust, you leave the territory of, maybe it was just my head, and enter the territory of incarnated commitment. This person will not tell you what to do. They will only be a living memory of what you heard. Fifth step, close the doors of rationalization. Identify right now the 3 phrases your mind uses most to take you away from the direction. It could be, it's not the time, I have to wait, maybe it wasn't for me. Identify them, and when they appear, and they will appear, you respond mentally. Thank you for your opinion, but the direction has already been given. It is not crazy to talk to yourself this way. It is mental hygiene. Researchers linked to Princeton University call this technique deliberate internal discourse QIA, and it presents proven results in the execution of difficult decisions. Sixth step, and perhaps the most important, accept that realignment brings temporary discomfort before it brings fluidity. When you return to the correct path after having tried another, the body goes through an adjustment period. Old habits protest, old relationships react. Your own mind tries to sabotage. This discomfort is not a sign that you were wrong. It is a sign that you were right, and the system is reconfiguring itself. Research from the Faculdade de Medicina da Universidade Federal de Minas Gerais on sustained behavioral change confirms that there is a critical window of 2 to 4 weeks in which the old system resists before yielding. Cross the window. On the other side, there is peace. I know you feel right now a mixture of relief and fear. Relief because someone finally put into words what you were feeling. Fear because now you no longer have a way to pretend you didn't know. This fear is your companion. It is not your enemy. It is just an indication that you are approaching something great. And here I need to tell you one more thing, because I know part of you is still trying to evaluate if this message is for someone else you know. It is not. It is for you. This video reached you by precise configuration. The algorithm was only the instrument. The delivery was something else. Reflect for an instant. How many times in your life did you feel a certainty so clear, without apparent reason, and then ignored it, and then regretted it? How many times did you say, years later, I knew it, I knew it, I should have listened to that? You can no longer allow yourself to build one more layer of that regret, not at this stage of life. You are over 35, perhaps much older, and what you need now is no longer courage to hear. You need courage to obey what you have already heard. The direction will not hang around forever. There is a spiritual principle that crosses many traditions. The light that is not followed moves away. It does not disappear. It will shine for someone else who is ready, and you will remain capable, you will remain functioning, but you will feel that something was missing forever. This void has a name. Researchers linked to the Universidade Federal do Rio Grande do Sul in longitudinal studies on existential satisfaction in Brasileiro adults identified that one of the most common regrets in people over 60 is not, I should have worked more. It is, I should have followed that calling. Do not reach that point. Do not allow it. Now a practical reminder before we close. Share this video with that person who came to your mind while you were...
Attention, you need to prepare now. I put together an exclusive resource for those who feel set apart for something greater, but live surrounded by noise, distractions, and mental overload. This is a 30-day journey that will transform your life, a guided path to armor your mind and prepare for what's coming, with daily practices of focus, boundaries, and discipline. Stop negotiating with the noise. Learn to spot distractions before they control you and strengthen your mind. Also available in an immersive audio version. Over 10,000 readers have already transformed their lives through the 30-day journey. Thousands of people have already started this transformation. People like you, who were tired of living in the fog, Ordinary people who decided to stop accepting mental chaos. Take advantage of this limited time offer only this month. Access your link just below in the pinned comment.